Welcome to the Big Biz Show. Taking care of business. You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
Wherever you are watching, wherever you are listening, we welcome you to the Big Biz Show inside the Loft 100 studios. And as we like to say around these here parts,
a big old howdy to ya.
Oh my God, beautiful. That's the Day Trader Trio. Back here at the bar, I'm the terribly talented and handsome Costa. That is Mary. And of course, Captain Finance himself.
Let's just first say, no one ever says that.
It's on billboards. It's on T-shirts. I saw a girl at the beach.
A big old howdy to you.
She had it tattooed.
A big old howdy to you.
A big old howdy to you.
Can I say, it's not, welcome to your Tuesday on the Big Biz Show. Great to see 125 million TV homes strong, 175 countries on American Forces Network, Bloomberg TV, BizTV. And apparently it's not Casual Tuesday, it's I slept in my car Monday. So, what's...
But look at this municipal.
No, that's you. So welcome back, first of all, Mary.
Thank you.
So as we talked about last week, every year, Mike and I have been in radio now, 35 years?
Something like that.
We met like literally the first day.
Yes.
And we have to sign something every year for 35 years. Radio only. I don't know if they have to. I've never had to sign for television.
No, I think it's
an FCC,
too,
but it's an FCC thing.
Yes.
Federal go to jail Communications Commission. What is this piece of paper we have to sign every single year?
It's payola plugola, and it's stating that you will not accept gifts in return for talking about them on the air or give somebody unnecessary love that they're not paying.
And it came out at about 1970, so it's basically you wouldn't accept cocaine. And heroin. And the devil's weed.
Right.
And all the same. So can I ask you, do you get paid by Municipal?
I don't. It's just I just do it out of the goodness of my heart. That's all.
So Harry Arnett, the CEO, you hear the story, right?
Wink, wink.
I got up one morning.
Yep.
I woke up one morning on a Sunday.
Yep.
And I got served, to use Mary's parlance, one of those ads for a new sweatshirt or something called Municipal.
Yeah.
So I bought a couple shirts or a pair of shorts. I get an email from the CEO thinking it's a bot. Ain't a bot.
Nope.
That day.
It's him.
Thank you. It was him.
Yeah.
Who's his partner?
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg is his
Excuse me,
partner.
Mark.
So we started talking, became friends. Not me and Mark, me and Harry.
Yeah.
He's come in a couple times.
He's due to come in.
Mary, do you have a thing?
I have a question.
Do you have a thing?
I don't, but I do have a municipal sweatshirt at home.
James, do you have a thing? No? I have a couple that I paid for. I can show the receipt.
Oh, geez, what's in Trace's hands up there? Oh, I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Oh, hey now. Wait, I have a question. When is Mark Wahlberg going to be on the show, though?
I'm efforting.
Efforting?
Yeah,
I am
you're
efforting
trying
Mark
hard enough.
Wahlberg.
Pardon me. just check. Is that a 50 cent? You're efforting?
I'm efforting him.
He could come in and sit with the band.
Yeah. He can wear his Calvin Klein underwear.
Yeah.
I can't even get past the word efforting. I'm trying to make a joke out of efforting. All right. Well, welcome to the program today. Lots of stuff. Where have you been?
I've been all over, actually. London for many days, 7 days.
Trampy Tramperton, where have you been the last week?
This summer I've been all over.
Good.
London, LA, I'm going to New York tomorrow morning at 4:30 a.m. Did y'all know this?
Well,
Sorry.
You're
I
leaving
sent you
again?
an email. I'm leaving again.
I emailed you.
I emailed you my PTO days.
I get nervous if I drive up to Orange County on the day of a show, and you're just going off to New York. Must be nice.
This summer, it's summer. I've got kids growing up, seniors. There's a lot of activity happening.
Are we going to school yet? You got
Yes.
UCSB.
Santa Barbara.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
Gotcha.
We're going to Humboldt State.
That's where, listen, Brian Jordan and I also went to Santa Barbara. We've got
I
some
know you did,
gauchos.
but look at the difference in the person who lived in Isla Vista and the person who didn't live in Isla Vista. He lived in the bad area. You lived in the worse area.
You know what it is? It's went to school, camped out on Del Playa.
You guys know what Isla Vista is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, of course.
It's like the number one party area.
Yeah.
You didn't live in Isla Vista, did you, Brian? Oh, crap.
Yes.
Why are you such a good person and she's so...
Well, I'm 9 years sober, so I did a lot of damage up in there.
All right, speaking of damage, there is much more to come with the Big Biz Show. I swear to God, we're going to talk business as well. Don't go anywhere.
Loft 100 Studios, The Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program.
Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks if we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at sullyandgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.
I like it.
Hey, is that a rescue plane?
In over 175 countries, all the ships at sea. You can hear us on the American Forces Radio Network, and as we say to the brave men and women of our United States Armed Forces, thank you for what you do, what you've done for us. That is the Day Trader Trio back here at the Bar Costa. It's Mary Godwin, and it is Sully.
Who do we got coming up?
We have right now, he's become a quick favorite of ours, the chairman and CEO of SmartKem, our good buddy Ian Jenks, of course, ticker symbol SMTK.
Hey, catch us up. This is interesting because when we first met you a couple months ago, and of course you're publicly traded on the stock symbol SMTK, it was interesting to think about back when we saw, and I keep on thinking about the replay because Mike is a pretty well-known sports personality here in this country. Remember the Miracle? It's a Miracle.
Yes.
With
1980, Lake Placid.
Al Michaels.
A Winter Olympics.
Yes.
Do you believe in miracles?
Right.
Yes.
So the point is, if you look at and maybe Chris can bring up, and our Emmy award-winning director Jared Cohen can bring up on the screen the caliber of what we thought was state of the art.
Oh right.
Oh my God.
Was it 80? Is that 84 or 80? 1980.
80.
80.
Lake Placid. Yeah.
And every year you buy a TV, and you can even go to Best Buy or wherever you go.
Right.
You can tell just the quality. Literally every 6 months there's something different.
Yes.
How often do you get to have a paradigm shift in something that is so locked in the wool in terms of technology? And now, obviously, you guys are doing that. Talk about the micro LED space. Talk about is pretty soon. If we get enough light, it's going to look like we're in the same room as whatever we're watching on TV. Correct?
Sure, absolutely. So you talk about paradigm shifts. There haven't been that many paradigm shifts. The original one was those cathode ray tubes, and then we sort of moved to LCDs and then to OLEDs. And each one of those actually took about 20, 30, 40 years. And so once it shifts, it stays that way. And there's a new technology on the block. It's called micro LEDs. It's the same things that you have in the light bulbs that sit above you. So a lot less power consumption, a lot brighter, and true color. So, instead of having to draw the drapes every time the sun shines through on your favorite, when your favorite sports channels are playing, you'll be able to keep them open. So you need about sort of believe it or not, they're not the same things that crawl around in your skull, but you need 10,000 nits. That's that's sort of the amount of brightness that you need to have true life color, and only micro LEDs can actually get you there. The real issue though is how you make them.
Yeah, so that's the question, because before there's a pile of glass, there's a pile of connectivity, there's a pile of chips, And we've got, it's up to robotics now. And look at it, I can't think of a better, what you're watching us on right now, no matter where you are in the world, it looks pretty darn good. But it's not even close to what we're talking about where it's going to be. And mainly, it's not just because the quality of the ingredients, it's because the way you're making it. Talk about how you're making it, because you're basically pouring.
Absolutely. So,
you're pouring this, right?
Yeah, so typically on a micro LED, say a 40-inch television, you have 25 million micro LEDs, and these things are just a few microns across. So they're tiny, tiny things. 1/20,000th the size of the thing that you see in your ceiling. And traditionally, you take an array of transistors on a sheet of glass, as you say, and you try and pick and place all of these tiny little micro LEDs, and it's a process that doesn't yield. And we turn the problem upside down. We take the glass, we put the micro LEDs down, and then we literally pour our transistors on the top, and we align them using photolithographic techniques, the same things that they use in the silicon industry, which much higher accuracy, much more repeatable, much higher yields. And so that's the essence of what we do.
Ian Jenks, Chairman and CEO of SmartKem, their ticker symbol SMTK. So happy to have him with us today here on the Big Biz Show.
Hey, Ian, I have a question for you. Speaking of, though, before I get to that, I just want to say I was just in your homeland and I had a fabulous time. And I'm sorry I didn't connect with you, but my kids had me going all over town. But I want to move back. Yes, it was Australia.
Always in England.
Yeah.
Put another shrimp on the
Anyway, I have a question.
Last time I was on, I gave her a few tips of the shows to go and see.
Yes, and I did, and it was fantastic.
Did you do the ABBA show?
I did. No, but I did see Rachel Ziegler sing "Don't Cry for Me." I did. It was fantastic.
Let's chase this rabbit.
Let's just talk about musical theater for the next 10 minutes. Anyway, I have a question about AI. We talk about it with almost all the guests because it seems to be impacting every technology, every industry. So how is AI impacting what you're doing? I was reading about an AI chip. And so can you talk to me how that's affecting what you're doing?
Well, so in two ways. So clearly, if you have better displays, even really small ones, then you get that better experience on your AR glasses, and so you can start to have virtual reality, bringing AI literally into what you're looking at. But for us, actually, there's another very interesting application for our materials. So, these AI chips that you make are really quite large and consume huge amounts of power. And so people are now dividing the chip up into little chiplets where they take the individual functionality and they do kind of the same thing with micro LEDs. They put them out in a piece of glass and then they try and stick them onto transistors. We recently signed an agreement with Mans in Taiwan to take our chip first LED approach to packaging of AI chips. So we do the same thing. We turn the AI chip upside down, put it down on a piece of glass, and pour our materials over the top and pattern it all and the connectivity photolithographically. So taking our materials into another very exciting market, which is the packaging of these AI chips.
And now Mike's hungry.
Yeah, you had me at chips, Ian.
He said,
I can't lie.
Chiplet.
I believe Mike said chiplet, or Ian said chiplet. Hey, Ian, okay, now that the control room's geeking out on all of the technology, let's talk about stuff that people will be amazed at. The addressable market here. We're talking internationally in the billions and billions and billions. Are we talking, what, $40 billion? $1 billion?
Well, so the display market as a whole is actually $250 billion.
Jeez.
Well, because this is also display.
Yep.
And in fact,
everything's a display.
You realize this was not in our lexicon in 2007?
Yep.
Like we didn't even, there wasn't the word iPhone.
No.
And have you called Mike's phone? I'm away from my camera at the moment. I'll get back to you as soon.
It's not even a phone.
It is. No. Ian, will that technology you're talking about end up on our iPads and our cell phones at some point, do you think? Or do you think that it's a different...
absolutely.
Oh, no kidding.
So, whether you're packaging the chips or you're looking at making better displays, eventually the sort of technology that we're introducing will end up, we hope, on every single display that there is, from the display that's going to go on my little smart ring to the mega-sized displays in the stadium.
Hey, Ian, I got a question for you. In terms of verticals, is it the consumer vertical that you're looking at most? Is it the, as you just mentioned, would it be the sports arena vertical?
So, we make materials, so we want to sell lots of materials, and so we want to do big displays. Whilst you can use our materials for small displays, the bigger the display, the more material we sell. So our initial market is that we're targeting is nothing smaller than sort of a laptop type screen, and then going up to the where they actually stitch these moderately sized displays together to make these huge, gigantic displays.
So my once again my optimism is high that we're going to see something better than what we're about to see on the way out of the break. His name is
Ian Jenks, Chairman, CEO of SmartKem. Their ticker symbol SMTK. Ian, always great to visit with you. We will have you back on soon.
And I
look forward to it. See you soon, guys.
Thanks, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Big Biz Show continues. Sunny Southern California is the place inside the Loft 100 studios. That is the Day Trader Trio. Of course, back here at the bar, it is Costa, it is Sully, and it's Mary Beth Godwin.
And look, Dan Negroni's here.
Dan.
So when you left here, were you going to the hospital? Was it really close? Or
it was close, yes.
It was close.
And then I've been here since, and it's almost 2 weeks. Tomorrow's 2 weeks.
We were talking off there. It's like having a kid. He goes, no. I go,
no, it's not like having a kid.
Because I get to hand him back. He said, yeah.
Yeah, you get to hand them back. And it's just so interesting how this generation deals with having babies, which they've been having babies for, do you know, thousands of years they've been having babies.
Also, I hear the mortality rate's 100% in this world. So me and Mike got 20 good summers left and 5 bad ones. Dan's got 40 good summers left. We're the same age.
Yeah.
Look at this, man. Well, congratulations, my friend.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Okay, couple things. Dan's book, Chasing Relevance, is right here on set somewhere, I'm sure. But there's also, he's a college professor here.
I am a college
professor. In San Diego.
Yes.
And at the same time, we keep talking about human workforce, human capital, and AI.
Yeah.
And whatever that means is new, correct? And it's changing weekly, I'm assuming.
And especially in the classroom, which is pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
We have to now teach them how to use AI, because AI is going to make all the difference.
Aren't they teaching us how to use AI?
Well, yes, they are. They use it.
Not you necessarily.
Interestingly enough, we had Cassidy here, right?
Yes.
And she was calling it chat, and she has a picture of chat on her phone, and it's her best friend. And I do think that they're approaching it like that, but they're not very evolved relative to prompt engineering yet, which is you put garbage in, you get garbage out. So Cassidy was telling the story of a friend that doesn't, just everyone says refine this, refine that. Yeah. But you really can have a relationship with chat as your AI thought partner and really push it hard. And we're not teaching them that.
But so here's my question in terms of AI and human capital. How is that, what's that going to look like in 10 years, or what's it going to look like in 18 months?
In 18 months, I could be much better at. I think we're going to get a lot better at partnering with chat as we talk to it and have a conversation.
So you're literally considering it as a person, not just a resource.
I don't consider it a person because I am aware that it is a computer.
Right, but I'm saying,
however,
but I'm talking about leaders though.
I think of it as a collaborative partner, right? So if you want to say as a person, an individual, I say to it, so for example, I was just doing a LinkedIn post, a 2-part series on our new reel coming out talking about AI. And one of the parts was, how are we approaching students to teach them in universities how to make chat or Gemini or any of them, the AI co-pilot, their partner? How to push it. Like I say, give me a better post than that was a little light on this and this. Don't you think it was a little bit light? What could we do better? I'm having a conversation.
You asked the question, don't you think it was a little light?
And where do you think we were light? And where do you think we could get more research? Where would you get that from? How would you poise it if your audience was focused on this?
I have a question about this because I know Instagram.
As I like to call Instacart.
Yes, SEO, Google is now going to be indexing in Instagram. So if you have posts, so if you Google Sullivan band, depending on what our caption is on Instagram, it will index that and it'll show up and it'll put our Instagram post. It never used to show up in Google.
What do you mean? What's caption mean?
The copy that you write underneath the photo.
Like, we may be fat, but we're slooping.
Yeah, so that's what I mean is we used to write catchy phrases like that, right?
Oh,
and it was like, this is my taglines underneath the photo. But now businesses should be really utilizing keywords in their caption because that's going to be indexed on Google. So you could use ChatGPT to help.
Well,
increase,
I do.
Right.
Make this sound sexier, better, attract more people, attract this type of audience.
And make sure you have the keywords
get me
for
more,
my industry.
Get me more speaking gigs by the caption, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I think what's interesting is when you mentioned a few weeks back, maybe it wasn't Cassidy was in studio. Cassidy Smith was one of our people that's going to break our hearts like they all do. Goes back to school, I think, next week, if I'm not mistaken.
A real live Gen Z.
She really is.
She's a real life,
She's fantastic. And I think you mentioned, I think, when she was on the air about a shared language, right?
Yeah.
So the shared language is this partnership you're talking about that didn't exist before. This language that two people speak or two partners speak or two businesses speak. It's a language suddenly that is intrinsic to their moving whatever work is forward, whatever sort of emotive category goes forward. I mean, what's interesting, like even writing music goes forward.
I was actually thinking that about for you today. You could put in lyrics and say, this is not pushing, I'm trying to express X.
Yeah.
Why is it not pushing this strong enough? What's a word that rhymes with, feels like would be vulnerable?
And the reason I got stuck on stupid there for a minute is because I can't think of a single lane this doesn't apply itself to if you think of it in terms of a shared language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a partnership.
It is a partnership. It's a collaborative. A friend of mine described it, I think we talked about last week, as a collaborative thought partner.
Yeah.
Like if you treat it like and it's so cool. It gave me like a tagline is just a grandpa, but not comfortable with that, going as Dan. Like it gave me that back, literally for my email tagline. And then it gave me 12 other alternatives that were equally as snarky.
Yeah.
And I was going to podcasts to get, interviewed about our new speaking things, and it gave me custom emails for all the 20 different podcast shows based on what they would say with a snarky line that related to them.
Wow.
Dan Negroni, Professor, New Grandpa, CEO, coach, author, Dan. Chasing Relevance, Steps to Understanding the Next Generation. Here is that book. As far as that is concerned, is the bigger hurdle our generation dealing with it and learning it, as opposed to the younger generation taking it and making it work best for them?
Yeah, I'm going to answer it as I answer all your questions. Yes. Thank you. You even know how I'm going to answer it.
I knew
yes. I think it's a problem both ways. I think younger people need to feel more comfortable in their own soul, skin, body, confidence to be able to talk to ChatGPT or anyone better.
Right.
And we need to be better and more open to using it. And lots of us old folks aren't.
But wait, which is right. What's necessary is a faster pathway to leadership readiness, is I think what you said.
Collaboration.
Because we're talking about the encode side, whatever the decode side over here, right? The decode side is the old part.
Both sides, so it's a great question. And the answer is yes, both sides need to, which is what the book was. It says 6 steps to understand and engage not millennial leaders, but next generation. So now it includes Gen Zs and soon Alphas.
For all the years I've been in business, you have me thinking, and you have had for several years, of all the hundreds of miles and thousands of miles of bicycles we've ridden together, workouts we've done together, is about team productivity is only part of it.
Yeah.
It's the other part of it it's called hiring alignment.
Yeah.
There's 2 pieces. So you got the A and the B.
Well,
team productivity doesn't happen unless you have the hiring alignment.
You got to hire the right people for your culture. You can assess that. You can use data. You can predict with 90% reliability. Will this person fit? Right? Will Cassidy be great here?
Because if you think in terms of hiring alignment and team productivity, man, imagine 1972. You're hiring the best person with the best resume. They're trying to make $35,000, $40,000 a year as their top thing. And then they get together.
Well, it usually looks the best or sounds like
exactly right. And then the other side, of it, and then the team productivity back then was, have you ever read the book Management Techniques of Attila the Hun? He talked about middle managers, right? Middle managers is the way to go. This really is the most efficient way. And I bet this elevates productivity in the next 5 years like we've not even seen.
I cannot tell you how much work I got done before I even came here. Just like talking to ChatGPT, I get to talk in my ideas. They now have this agent mode, and it figures out. Yeah.
Talk about this.
Well.
Yeah. Dan Negroni.
Okay.
We need a whole program. We need a Dan Negroni
AI program.
The network's asking about content.
Oh boy.
See you guys.
Dan Negroni, speaker, CEO, coach, consultant, chief launch officer, professor, and Dan, aka Grandpa. Love when this guy visits with us. All right, keep it here. Much more to come with the Big Biz Show. Rolls on live from the Loft 100 studios here in Southern California. Hope everyone's having a great day. We appreciate you being along for the ride. Costa, Marybird Godwin, and Sully.
Great to have you along today. Our next guest is Amro Albanna. He is the co-founder and CEO. I'm going to try to do this best I can. I believe it's AditXt, if I'm not mistaken, or AditXt. He's going to tell me how to pronounce the name.
Oh yeah, AditXt.
But it's interesting. With respect to what these guys do in terms of immune health monitoring and modulation, and giving us his time, the CEO. That's how important we are. Amro Albanna. Amro, nice to see you. Thanks for coming on studio with us. Appreciate it.
Good here. Thank you for having us.
Can you tell us how to pronounce it? Is it AditXt or AditXt or
AditXt.
AditXt. See, look, I nailed it.
You nailed it first time.
Nailed it.
So talk about because people, you're the first time you're on the air here with us. Talk about what you guys do. How are you changing the world?
Well, look, we're basically identifying innovations that are truly promising, whether it's in the field of autoimmunity, cancer detection, women's health, with the whole purpose of making sure that we can bring these innovations to the public and to the markets and to those who need it most.
Amro, how tough is it to sift through what I am going to assume is maybe voluminous information about where you should go with the company and what is worth, I guess, going down that wormhole to bring to light?
Look, it is truly one of the most challenging, journeys you can take to really identify an innovation, especially in biotech. I mean, I think you guys appreciate how difficult biotech is.
Sure.
Unlike software, unlike high tech, look, you can't just develop a molecule over, a month period. It takes time. There's human testing. So it is challenging, but that's what makes it that much more critical for all of us socially to make sure that these innovations get a chance to become commercial. And we can get into more, kind of what we're doing with autoimmunity, what we're doing with cancer, what we're doing with women's health, to get an appreciation of why we have to make sure that these innovations become publicly available.
Hey, Amro, it's interesting. We may broadcast. You may be listening to us, in Beirut. You may be watching us on television in New York City. We're all over the world, but we happen to be broadcasting from San Diego, which is obviously a biopharma center, and has been for a long time. And it's interesting how oftentimes we hear about targeted immune technology, targeted immune therapy. And I always wonder, because even in the local radio stations here, the local television stations here, we're national and international, but I'm talking about just the local markets, how often we see advertisements for Scripps Health or Scripps Research or Sharp Health or Sharp Research. And I'm always wondering, what is the tiebreaker? Like, what is the bigger, better, faster, stronger, cheaper? For example, with you guys, what are the biggest things that sort of differentiate you? See, I said that correctly. As I would have said voluminous, by the way, when Mike said voluminous. Just kidding. But long story short, what makes you guys different? What makes your immunology therapy different, or at least the capacity from other companies?
This is as objectively as I can be. Look, generally speaking, for the last 50, 60 years, the whole concept of addressing autoimmunity is through immunosuppressants. So the immune system is attacking our own tissues. This is basically what causes autoimmunity, whether it's multiple sclerosis, type 1 diabetes, psoriasis. It's the whole, it's really our immune system somehow forgetting our own tissues, and it will begin to attack it. So in one way or another, or one form or another, we've been addressing, meaning generally speaking, addressing autoimmunity through suppressing the immune system by blocking it when it punches. We believe we have a fundamentally different approach to autoimmunity by retraining the immune system and teaching it and reminding it of our own tissues.
Okay, wait a second. Wait. I don't interrupt you there. Isn't that sort of what a vaccine does? I mean, we're vaccinating ourselves with our own immunology? Is that similar?
No. We're really not dealing with a vaccine.
No. I'm being analogous. I'm talking about vaccine. I'm saying what you're doing by using your own, by retraining versus blocking. Isn't that what we're doing when we use vaccines? Isn't that sort of the same technology? We're actually, so we're not up-modulating the immune system, meaning we're not asking the immune system to attack something. We're actually asking the immune system the opposite of not attacking something, right? Yeah. So we're down-modulating the immune system. We're actually sending instructions. Look, I can use the word reprogramming the immune system to actually stop from attacking a specific cell or tissue. That's the key here, that we're actually, retraining the immune system not to attack something versus attacking something that is a threat to us.
Amro Albanna is the co-founder and CEO of AditXt. Their website is aditxt.com.
So, Amro, is this a technology? Is this something like a radiation or a pill, or what's the format in which this is administered?
Yeah, this will be actually designed to be an injection. Right now, look, for the last 5 years, we've accelerated the technology. We obviously believed in it. We're working with, world-renowned institutions, and our goal is to literally get into human trials as early as first half of 2026, this coming year. So imagine an attempt to literally retrain the immune system where it does not attack our own tissues. And we're starting with we're starting with stiff person syndrome, which, as we probably know, is what Celine Dion is dealing with. Oh, yeah. We're starting with type 1 diabetes as well as psoriasis.
First of all, every time I interview a biopharma company, I get more hopeful about some of the therapies you're looking at. But this is a horrible question I have to ask you, because it's grotesque in terms of the fact that you're a CEO of a public company. Let's face it, you're here not only to save lives, but you're here to bring shareholder value. What is the addressable market in terms of dollars for what you guys are doing?
Right. So, look, when it comes to autoimmunity, and this is just one portion of our business, we haven't really discussed cancer detection. But look, when you're looking at autoimmunity, you can imagine more than 100 million people are impacted by autoimmunity one way or another. So when we're starting with, type 1 diabetes, psoriasis, those alone have tens of millions of patients in the US and globally. But now, if we can truly show we can retrain the immune system, then it becomes a platform for indications and diseases beyond type 1 diabetes, psoriasis, and SPS. And that's the potential we're going after.
So what's it look like? Let's go hyper short term. Arc of the FDA story in the next 6 to 18 months, and then where do you see this thing in 3 to 5 years?
Right. So again, AditXt, we're not a single molecule, technology company, or we're not focused on a single technology. Just talking about AdImmune, here's what we are aiming to do. We would like to file. We would like to be in a position to file for FDA by Q1 of next year. And obviously, pending regulatory approvals, we would like to begin human trials in Q2 of 2026. So that's pretty near term.
And by the way, top line data after you go. So your new drug application next year, human trials. What's the horizon on top line data after that first human trial?
So I would say probably 12 months from beginning first in human trials. And look, we do not see ourselves commercializing the technology, taking it all the way to commercialization. We really, we want to begin with phase 1/2A, which is important because we're not starting with healthy patients. We're actually starting with patients with the indications, assuming, again, regulatory approvals. And we're looking about 12 months from beginning of the trials to begin to get a sense of, the data in terms of safety and in terms of efficacy.
Amro Albanna, co-founder, CEO of AditXt. Their website is AditXt. Amro, one question for you. What's the most critical challenges when it comes to immune system monitoring as it stands right now?
Look, we cannot treat anything without understanding what it is. So the concept of monitoring, it is simply to begin to understand with high precision what the status of our immune system is. Otherwise, you cannot address it with precision, just like we discussed with AdImmune in terms of therapeutics. So Persanta, which is a second subsidiary that we have, is focused on that precision monitoring and precision diagnostics. And we're starting with early cancer detection in prostate cancer, endometriosis. Of course, endometriosis is not oncology related, but we're starting with prostate cancer, and the plan is to follow it up with ovarian, breast cancer, and other types of cancer.
Amro Albanna, co-founder and CEO, AditXt, AditXt.com is the website. Their ticker symbol, ADTX. You will see a lot more of him and AditXt on this show. All right, keep it right here. Much more to come at the Big Biz Show. Do not go anywhere.
Thank you guys very much. Really appreciate it.
Live from sunny Southern California, we are inside the Loft 100 studios. New year of the Big Biz Show. As always, we appreciate everybody being along for the ride, wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening. Hope your new year is off to a good start. I'm Costa, Marybird Godwin, Greg Todorov, and Sully.
David Garofalo, thank you. Day Trader Trio. James East. How was your holiday, sir? Did you have a good time?
It was beautiful.
You like it? Have a good
Very,
time?
very mellow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Brian Jordan, did you play for any major acts this time around?
No major acts.
No, good. Yeah. Trace Sojourn Hodgins, did you save your voice?
Saved my voice, but played with Rebecca Jade, so that was cool.
Hey.
David Garofalo is the chairman and CEO of Gold Royalty Corp. One of my favorite guys. This guy's one of the smartest guys in the gold business, and they trade on the New York Stock Exchange. GROY is their stock symbol. And of course, he is the chairman and CEO of Gold Royalty Corp. You know, gold royalty companies are at the top of the food chain. They're basically finance companies for gold business. And David knows everything from A to Z about this stuff. David, great to see you, man. Thanks for coming back. Got to get you back in studio, man.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Nice to see you too.
Hey, can you talk about a little bit about what we're seeing with inflation? You know, since the election, you know, there's a lot of bright spots in terms of it looks like new businesses coming into a lot of industries and so on and so forth. Then we get this horrible news that mortgage rates are climbing to 8% because they're going in the opposite direction of the Fed. Gold has often been talked about as a hedge against inflation. Can you help us understand where inflation stands right now, where you think it's going to be here in the next, let's talk about 6 months to 18 months, and are we going in the right direction or not?
No, it's very sticky. And I think gold is an accurate barometer of that. The long end of the yield curve, as you correctly pointed out, is an agnostic and accurate barometer of what's really going on with underlying inflation. So inflation rates are significantly higher than the headline numbers might indicate. 3%, that's really fiction. It's economic fiction. It's not the reality on the ground. And gold is just reflecting that and reflecting the need, the desire of the central banks to continue to expand monetary supply because they've got so much debt to deal with at the federal level. There's no other way to deal with it other than to print it away.
The other thing too is, as you have mentioned before, and some of your predecessors, Trey Wasser, for example, who we used to have on a regular basis, is the more money flow, the more money we dump into the system, inflation follows right after that. And it's almost a barometer where you can almost predict that gold prices are going in the right direction. I mean, for right now, I'm looking at, gold futures right now are at 26.6290. Gold futures are crazy right now. In terms of that, if you were a betting man, the trend is your friend. This is the right time to get into gold and gold royalties at this point, right?
Absolutely. I mean, gold at 3,000 could happen tomorrow. That's an easy prediction to make. Mm-hmm. The question is, how far up will it go? It'll be entirely a function of how much money supply will increase. And I think it's going to have to increase substantially more to deal with the massive amount of debt that the federal government is strapped on. And if you look at gold over a 50-year horizon from when the central banks actually eliminated the gold standard in the early 1970s. It's been a one-way trade. Gold's gone from $35 an ounce to $2,800 an ounce today, whereas the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar has declined by over 96%.
David Garofalo, the chairman, CEO of Gold Royalty Corp. Their ticker symbol is GROY. David, as far as the new administration coming in with President Trump, is there any hope on your part of being able to possibly drill in areas that maybe you weren't the last 4 years?
Well, I think that bodes well for mine development generally, but the lack of exploration over the last decade means that even if the regulatory regime improves, we're not going to see the evidence of that for at least a decade or so, because typically the timelines from discovery to first production are 15 to 20 years. And the lack of access to capital for the juniors in our space, all the explorers, the ones that do all the heavy lifting, the grassroots exploration that we need to continue to perpetuate our industry, simply hasn't been happening for the last dozen years or so. So even if the market's opened up for those junior companies and they made significant discoveries tomorrow, we wouldn't see any mine supply reaction for at least a decade to 15 years.
Now, David, we've been talking about the industry. How does Gold Royalty specifically benefit from the increase in gold prices?
Well, look, we have optimum leverage to the gold price. We have unmitigated leverage. In fact, all of our revenue is really from the top line at the mine site. We get a percentage of the gross revenue. So it really doesn't matter what happens to their operating capital costs. Our margins are 90+% because we have very low overheads. We're effectively a financial institution, as Sully pointed out earlier on. We're a bank that provides capital to the explorers, the developers, the operators, who otherwise have been able to access capital, as I said earlier on, for the last dozen years or so. What we do is provide that capital to expand and explore their properties while we take a royalty back in return as repayment.
Hey, David, before we let you out of here today, I want to talk about how you guys compare to other gold royalty companies, because this is what's really impressive. That's why I love your company. That's why I beat up his phone lines when we're off there to try to get him to come on more. But you guys really do. You are leading the sector. In the last count, what is it? 240, 220 royalties. What are we looking at right now?
Yeah, 245 royalties, but I think most importantly, there's a couple of characteristics of our portfolio that really are standouts. One is over 80% of our portfolio is in 3 jurisdictions, Nevada, Quebec, and Ontario, which are the best jurisdictions in the world for mineral potential, low political risk, and low regulatory risk. But also, 3 of the 5 biggest producing gold mines in North America have our royalties on them. And so not only do we have quantity and diversity of the royalty portfolio, but we also have some foundational cornerstone assets that are going to provide annuities for our shareholders for decades to come.
The thing you're looking most forward to in 2025, in as much as you can share with us as a CEO of a public company, what are you looking forward to in terms of your company and of course, gold as a whole?
This is our inflection year. We only started business a little over 3 years ago. March of 2021 is when we IPO'd with no revenue. This year, we're free cash flow positive for the first time in our history. So we've reached that inflection point where we're generating positive free cash flow. We don't need to go into the market, raise money. That means per share value accretion through cash flow earnings for the first time in our history, driven by some of the biggest assets in North America.
David, always appreciate the visits with us here on the Big Biz Show. Always gives us hope for the gold future. Appreciate the visit. We'll have you back on again soon.
David Garofalo, GROY is that ticker. Gold Royalty Corp. I feel better now after talking to Howie earlier today about the Tim.
Yeah, that's big time.
Thanks, David. David brought us up from the Howie conversation.
Yeah.
All right, keep it here. Lots more with the Big Biz Show right after this.